Welcome to Solutions IRB presentation on exempt category number 1. From the Code of Federal Regulations at 46.104D1, exempt number 1 is research conducted in established or commonly accepted educational settings that specifically involves normal educational practices that are not likely to adversely impact students' opportunity to learn required educational content or the assessment of educators who provide instruction. This includes most research on regular and special education instructional strategies and research on the effectiveness of or the comparison among instructional techniques, curricula, or classroom management methods. We will break this down in the following slides. Research conducted in established or commonly accepted educational settings. These are schools, preschool, pre-K, K through 12, universities, colleges and graduate schools, after-school programs, and camps that specifically involves normal educational practices. This will not cover brand new approaches that have no track record of effectiveness, that are not likely to adversely impact students' opportunity to learn required educational content. There must not be a significant burden caused by studies under exempt number 1. Educational time is important. The IRB will not allow a significant impact on educational time. Or the assessment of educators who provide instructions. Not all of these exempt number 1 studies deal with students. Teachers, professors, or others, such as staff, can be the subjects. This includes most research on regular and special education instructional strategies. What will not be covered under exempt number 1, research on radically new and different educational practices, research using random assignment to groups, research involving deception or withholding of information, and research on the effectiveness of or the comparison among instructional techniques, curricula, or classroom management methods. These studies may deal with what is taught, how it is taught, and how classrooms are managed. Materials needed by the IRB. Some studies may require a data usage agreement when secondary data is being used. Letters from the district, state, principal, authorizing, allowing the study. Some studies may be commissioned by the district or state or even the school. Other studies may be initiated by the researcher as part of a thesis or dissertation or because of research interests. This may include a school district or state DOE's IRB approval. Other materials that are part of the study, not the curricula, for example, surveys, interviews, tests, grant contracts, funding materials, etc. Remember, the IRB is interested in the study that is being conducted, not the normal educational practices themselves. However, individual reviewers may ask for some of these materials that they deem necessary for their reviews, but don't provide these ahead of time. Wait until they are asked for. Issues of consent and assent. Parental consent, permission, may be active or passive. In active consent, the form must be returned for the child to participate. In passive consent, the form must be returned for the child not to participate. Assent, when a study collects data beyond what is already generated in normal educational practices, assent should be sought from children at an appropriate level for them to understand. Consent and assent may not be necessary if a study deals with normally generated data. This is especially the case when the data is de-identified. Other regulations that may apply: Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, 34 CFR 99, and Protection of Pupil Rights Amendment, 34 CFR 98. Be wary of things that can raise the level of risk. The following may disqualify a study for exempt number 1. Focus groups, video recording, interviews, keeping individual identifiers of students such as names with the data. Remember, studies about sensitive topics may not qualify for exempt number 1, such as sexual activity, violence, substance use, criminal and delinquent activity. Conditional approval. Remember, conditional approval of these studies is common, as we may require district approvals, for example, but the district may require our approval. We circumnavigate this problem through the conditional approval process. However, the study cannot begin until the IRB grants full approval. Common errors to avoid: do not contact teachers directly. Permissions must be sought from district principal, state institution as appropriate. Do not consent students in such a way that it is obvious to the casual observer whether they are participating or not. Verbal consent should not be given in a group. Extra credit cannot be offered as an inducement to participate. This is coercion, unless it is also offered to all in exchange for another activity. Do not add off-topic questions. Questions should not refer to specific other individuals unless they are general questions about, quote unquote, your teacher. Be careful of questions that will re-identify individuals in an anonymous survey, such as, what school do you teach at? What grade do you teach? These two, when taken together, could very easily make someone's identity obvious. Questions? Please reach out to our admin team at reviews@solutionsirb.com or phone us at 855-226-4472.